In the news tonight, Barbadians react to calls to increase family size. A respite complex is coming to Stirling in St. Philip. The Nurses Association is calling for reform of the healthcare system. And in sports, Femundo World Dominoes Championships begin in BIM.
The headline news is brought to you by National Transformation Initiative, shaping the Barbadian.
Broadcasting from our studios in the Pine St. Michael, this is CBC NewsNight, starting now.
Good evening, I'm Lisa Broom. Thank you so much for tuning in. In our top story tonight, Barbadians are pointing to job insecurity, financing and support, among other things, as they react to news of efforts by government to encourage them to get bigger families. Last night, Minister of Economic Affairs and Investment, Kay McConney, said this will be done through the creation of a conducive environment to support those who wish to have children and to expand their families. Well, today, a CBC crew took to the streets to hear what Barbadians are thinking about the matter.
First, they have to look at better paying jobs, because nobody ain't going to get children and working for underpaying jobs, because how you going to support them? You can't feed them grass and everything is expensive. Like school, I have to, and I'm definitely not getting any more because school things alone is very expensive. Uniforms, to be exact. So if they want more people, more children in the economy, better paying jobs.
Everything these days is expensive, so surviving on your own is a lot. So when you factor in a child, then it becomes that much more expensive. So unless you could address the cost of living some way, I don't know another better incentive.
I don't think there's nothing the government can do to encourage me to have any more children. To me, it's just, I guess, having a village, having somebody there to help, I guess, support you. Not mainly financially, but, just, help take care of your children.
A lot of people are financially struggling at the moment. I need a lot of assistance. I remember a time back, as a youngster, my father would be filing for his income tax, and I will hear that you will get money for your return filing for a child or children, whatever the case is. Of recent years, I was told that was removed when filing. I'm a tax filer also right now. I now got an 11-month-old daughter. So you had benefits for parents that were removed and make it much more difficult for fatherhood or parenting in general.
With our salaries, not all of we got fathers for children. Fathers might not be working, but we just need a little help with like Pampers and the different stuff and then school stuff. So I would just say like an allowance for children, like per child. That's all I can say right now. And then the affordable living, the living a little high.
The cost of living is way too much, way too high right now, so it makes no sense trying to get up, racking up children like that all the time. So in my opinion, cost of living, nah, not really.
Job security is different than it was before. Even, I hear that even certain jobs of the government are not as secure as before. So I think that secure job opportunities are needed for us to feel comfortable, because it's all about stability in the end. So I think that's where the direction should really look to go into.
The government's pledge to create modern, inclusive care facilities took another step with the turning of the sod for a new residential and respite complex at Stirling in St. Philip. The project brings together public and private partners to better serve seniors and persons with disabilities. Deanza Roberts has those details.
Under bright morning skies, the first shovels of earth signal the start of a development designed to transform elder and disability care in Barbados. The Stirling House site will become a community-style residence, offering daycare and respite services for seniors, people with disabilities, and even children, encouraging intergenerational interaction. President of Seroptimus International Barbados, Patrice Allen, says the groundbreaking extends the hope of the Seroptimist village.
As we turn the soil for this new project, we are extending that hope even further. So on behalf of Seroptimus International of Barbados, I congratulate the government through the Ministry of People Empowerment and Elder Affairs and all partners involved in this undertaking. We are proud to see the spirit of the Seroptimus village reflected here today. I am sure I speak for all my fellow sisters when I say that we are confident that this initiative, through care and commitment, will bear fruit for decades and that future generations will look back on this day as the beginning of something transformative.
Executive Director of the Barbados Alzheimer's Association welcomed the project's dedicated dementia wing, noting the urgent need for support as cases rise worldwide.
The project is more than just a new building. It's about supporting and investing in the future of our community, as the need for elder daycare and daycare for the dementia and Alzheimer's patient is of utmost need and importance. Dementia, as we know, affects millions of people, and this number is expected to increase to 78 million in 2030, and that's a dramatic amount. When we think of dementia patients, 6 out of 10 of those are Alzheimer's patients, and we all know the burden not only to the family caregivers, but obviously to the community at large, who struggle to deal with this very heartbreaking condition.
Minister of People Empowerment and Elder Affairs Kirk Humphrey says the project is a transformation in how Barbados delivers care.
When we were discussing this project, I kept saying stop calling it reform. This is transformation. And that this is transformation in progress because we've transformed everything. The other point that I think is important before I close is that we didn't just do this, we're also doing legislation. We would have done the policy, which Parliament debated and discussed, and you would have seen in that policy where we stand, our vision, where we intend to take the country, both for persons with disabilities and for the elderly, and we also did it for children.
Construction is expected to begin soon, with Phase 1 focused on the renovation of Sterling House. Officials expect the facility to stand as a model of dignity and inclusion for decades to come. Deanza Roberts, CBC News.
CARICOM's full free movement does not give any person the right to stay in Barbados if they commit a crime. This has been made clear by Minister of Home Affairs and Information Wilfred Abrams. He was speaking on the Let's Talk About It radio program on Q100.7 FM.
Any person who commits a crime in Barbados who is not a citizen of Barbados, once is a certain category of crime punishable by a certain sentence, we can deport that person after they've served their sentence or pay the compensation or whatnot. And you see, it happens quite a lot. Persons who are here, if you're here legitimately on a work permit, if you're here and you have immigrant status, if you're here you have permanent resident status, and you commit a serious offense after you've served out your sentence or completed the order of the court, then you can be deported from Barbados. It's not going to change. The free movement does not give the person any rights that don't currently exist in some other form or fashion. So if you think of the person who's exercising the right of free movement, think of them as a resident of Barbados, effectively. Mm-hmm. We have the right to deport residents if they offend the rules of Barbados.
Minister Abrams adds that those who are found guilty can apply to serve their sentence in their country of birth.
Right now, as it stands, persons can apply to serve their sentence in their country of origin, and that arrangement can be happen. It does not happen a lot, but it does happen. So that is always a possibility. But quite frankly, courts like to retain jurisdiction to ensure that their sentences are carried out fully. So if I sentence you to 5 years in prison because I think it warrants 5 years in prison, I don't want to release you to somebody else who's going to let you go immediately as you get back there. Right? So it's a balance, but yes, that exists.
The Barbados Nurses Association is calling for immediate reforms to the healthcare system. The call from President Dr. Faye Harris, who says this was the consensus following an emergency meeting held yesterday. The meeting comes on the heels of nurses being attacked at the Randall Phillips and Frederick Miller polyclinics earlier this week.
The BNA is calling for immediate reforms, including the installation of panic buttons with internal and external response links, CCTV surveillance, trained security personnel, and standardized safety protocols across all clinics and hospitals.
And Dr. Paris is urging the public not to attack nurses.
The BNA reaffirms its position of zero tolerance for violence against nurses and is making a direct appeal to the public. These attacks must stop. Nurses are caregivers. Acts of aggression against them are unacceptable and must be condemned at every level of society.
Meanwhile, the Barbados Association of Medical Practitioners has also sounded its voice in condemning the recent attacks on nurses. Public Relations Officer Dr. Clyde Cave says just as a healthcare worker is held to high standards of professionalism in performance of their duties, civility is expected from the public. He says workplace safety is a basic expectation and right of all healthcare workers, and Dr. Cave stresses that those who threaten or assault healthcare workers must be held accountable to the full extent of the law.
BAMP is calling on government to initiate a public awareness campaign highlighting expectations of appropriate civil behavior in healthcare settings and consequences of assault on healthcare workers. In addition, BAMP calls on the Ministry of Health and Wellness to improve security services specifically designed to protect workers. The Barbados Association of Medical Practitioners stands in solidarity with the Barbados Nurses Association and all healthcare and allied workers.
There's more news after this break. Stay with us. Civil society organizations and other stakeholders marked the 30th anniversary of the historic Beijing Conference on Women with a call to close gender gaps from the classroom to the climate crisis. They gathered in Bridgetown to assess how far women's rights have come and how far they must still go. Let's hear more from Deanza Roberts.
30 years after the Beijing Platform for Action, there have been gains, but there are still concerns as to how that has translated into equal opportunities for women. IDB's country representative Karina Coburn, in addressing the forum, called for affordable internet and digital skills as key to unlocking women's economic power.
Going digital offers new opportunities to overcome these structural barriers, including new opportunities for flexible work, remote entrepreneurship, and access to markets, especially for women managing caregiving responsibilities. But without access to affordable devices, high-speed internet, or dedicated time and space, many women still find themselves excluded.
This country's Minister of People Empowerment and Elder Affairs, Kirk Humphrey, connected gender equality to climate resilience. He noted that 80% of people displaced by climate disasters are women and girls, and he called for better pay for care work and stronger social services.
We are currently doing the country assessment of living conditions, which is our poverty study. We anticipate that by very early next year, we will have a new poverty line for Barbados, and that we can use that then to help shape how we interact through our social services. What should be the nature of our response? What should be the minimum a person should receive from the agencies? And as you already know, we're already working to create a new agency called the Social Empowerment Agency, which should better deliver goods and services to the people who come to the social services sector for care. And again, the vast majority of those are women.
Abibek Asifa, Development Councillor, High Commission of Canada, says while there is a lot to celebrate, global challenges pose setbacks. She was delivering remarks on behalf of High Commissioner Brenda Wells.
But I think you'll also agree with me that we have a lot to be worried about. Not only because some of the results that we were hoping for during the Beijing Declaration are slow in getting the results we're expecting, but also because we have been facing and continue to face pressing global challenges, such as the climate crisis, and here in the Caribbean, you've probably experienced it more than in other parts of the world, but also conflicts and democratic erosions and backlash against gender equality, which are not only slowing the progress, but are actually threatening the progress achieved to date.
It's a new dawn, it's a new day.
The speakers stress that progress is not guaranteed and urged governments and regional institutions to embed gender equity in every policy, from digital transformation to climate finance. Deanza Roberts, CBC News.
Sam Lord's Castle now wears a new crown, 6 striking murals, one still incomplete, created by Barbadian secondary school students. Government officials joined the artists, students, and other officials and stakeholders to celebrate the occasion, as Deanza Roberts tells us.
From the first floor to the 5th, the walls of the iconic hotel now tell the colorful tale of Sam Lord himself. Each floor a different chapter, painted by the steady hands of young Barbadian talent. Manager of the facility says they invited schools to take part in the project, one that he is proud to see unveiled today.
Several months ago, I believe it was somewhere in the middle of the last term, we met as a team and we talked about what we could do with these walls behind me. They were all covered in green moss. It was part of the original architectural finish for the hotel, and it was really beautiful when it was first done, in photos and in person. But over time we got a little tired of it and we wanted to add a pop of color. And today, of the 7 walls that we wanted painting, we have 5 walls completed, fully completed.
He says the hotel walls surpass beautiful.
Lester Vaughan Secondary on the 5th floor. Is Lester Vaughan here? Yes. And then on the 4th floor, we've got the Dighton Griffith Secondary School. On the 3rd floor, and I've been corrected on this, so I want to make sure I get it right, the Lodge School. Yeah. And then on the 2nd floor behind me is the St. George Secondary School. St. George was the first school to complete their mural, and it's beautiful. And then on our level, there's the Princess Margaret Secondary School. And then on the ground floor, we've got the Christchurch Foundation School.
Education Minister Chad Blackman says the murals symbolize progress and remind us that culture and the youth can reshape historic spaces. Not only are the officials happy with the work done by the students during their 4-week summer vacation, but so too are the artists, who were beaming with pride, knowing that their work has now become part of history that will inspire visitors and locals alike every day. Deanza Roberts, CBC News.
Sports Night, brought to you with the compliments of Great Health Works, agents for Omega XL.
Damien Best is live in studio now with the sports details. Good evening, Damien.
Yeah, good evening to you, Lisa. Good evening to our viewers and our listeners. Well, it was a festive atmosphere at Wyndham Grand Barbados Sam Lord's Castle today for the opening ceremony of the prestigious Famundo World Dominoes Championships. The tournament runs until Saturday and features hundreds of players from across the Caribbean, the Americas and further afield. The championship will not only highlight the unique style of Caribbean dominoes, but also introduce participants to the Latin American variants of the game. Additionally, $60,000 will be up for grabs, including a grand individual prize of $10,000. During the ceremony, President of the Bajan Travelers, Suzette Hines, paid tribute to the late Femundo's second Vice President, Inspector Rodney Innes.
As we celebrate this moment, we must also reflect on the journey, a journey that began in the heart and mind of one man, Inspector Rodney Innes. Rodney was more than a visionary, he was a believer. He saw the potential for this game to transcend borders, to empower youth and to become a global force for unity and excellence. Though he is no longer with us to witness this moment, it is because of his dream that we are here today.
Well, the Director of the National Sports Council, Neil Murrell, says a lot of learning will be done over the next few days with the various styles of dominoes.
It is not lost on us that the Famundo style of dominoes will grow and develop in Barbados and the Caribbean region from these championships over the next few years. It is not lost on us that we will learn the Latin American variation, and they will learn our Barbadian and Caribbean style, even if informally.
The manager of sports at the Barbados Tourism Marketing Inc., Kamal Springer, says the competition is a big boost for Barbados sports tourism.
We are welcoming 250 visitors to the island for about 5 to 7 days. It's a beautiful event. We have over 13 countries on island, from South America to United States to Spain. We have a wide range of visitors on island, and we want to make sure that they feel welcome on the island. It's important to us to make sure that these individuals have a good time, because we wanted to return more than once to be able to support the island economically going forward. We want to make sure this is not the first and last time, but they have so many opportunities to come beyond that.
Well, efforts to integrate chess into the school curriculum in Barbados is moving full steam ahead. The International Chess Federation's Director for Development, Grandmaster Nigel Short, paid a courtesy call to the Ministry of Educational Transformation yesterday to start the process. Well, the visit also comes on the heels of a previous meeting at the first ever global conference on the role of chess in education, which concluded in Washington, D.C. Over 50 speakers, including eminent scientists and researchers in the fields of education and cognitive studies, took part in the two-day event aimed at discussing the educational and cognitive benefits of chess. Well, Minister of Educational Transformation, Chad Blackman, says it's part of a wider plan for Barbados to become the #1 education system in the world in 7 years. And the benefits of chess have already been realized in several countries.
The science has shown and the history has shown that a number of countries around the world, particularly those in Asia, whether that be in Singapore, in China, South Korea, and many others in other parts of the world, in Africa and the Arab world, those economies and those societies who have integrated chess within their education system have and continue to reap significant dividends in terms of their critical thinking, but ultimately citizens who go on to do incredibly well in whatever pursuit they set out to do. When you also look at inclusive education, particularly for those who may have some challenges, there are a wide set of challenges that may occur. For example, persons who may be on the spectrum, let's say. It does not stop them from being involved in chess. And actually, as shown, coming from our discussion, and I'm sure Nigel can also speak to it, a number of persons who have autism have been able to do very well in chess and actually go on to do significantly well in other endeavors as a result of these skill sets.
Grandmaster Short, who hails from England, says it's an exciting time for education in Barbados.
We're living in a TikTok world where attention spans are very, very short. We have issues with students using AI rather than thinking for themselves. And I think the sort of skills which chess teaches will be of immense benefit.
Well, the rollout of the integration of chess into schools has been earmarked for December of 2026. And President of the Barbados Chess Federation, Alan Herbert, thanked the ministry for their swift action.
We are going to be working very closely with the ministry in terms of the outreach program. It's part of our federations and the international federations wider program of outreach to I would say leverage one of the most unique things about chess. It's inclusivity. You could be blind, you could be deaf, dumb, disabled. We have one quadriplegic, I kid you not, who plays competition, and he has to use a computer. He cannot move 24/7 care, but he can compete on equal terms with an able-bodied person. So we see this opportunity in terms of participating in the transformation of the educational system.
The Business Report, brought to you with the compliments of Republic Bank. We're the one for you.
The Barbados Water Authority is working towards increasing the country's water resilience to climate change with a focus on non-revenue water reduction. This through a non-revenue water project being funded by the Inter-American Development Bank. Project manager in the BWA's Project Management Office, Shelley Paris, says their first objective to enhance resilience and reliability to the potable water distribution system. She was speaking during a public stakeholder engagement session as they tried to raise awareness on the upcoming project.
So under component 1 out of 4, the focus is mains replacement. So we're looking at the replacement of our deteriorated and high-risk potable water mains across the island to the tune of about 100 kilometers. On average, 100 kilometers for the average Barbadian would be, say, driving on the ABC, the main arterial highways of Barbados around the whole island once. Is about 100 kilometers. So that's what we're aiming to do just for a picture distance in your mind. And in so doing, we're looking to improve service delivery, reliability, and climate resilience.
She says under component 2, the focus will be on non-revenue water management.
We're looking more closely at our network monitoring, leak detection, so that we can proactively go after leaks in our system. Data processing, which is to say that we're looking at all the information we have across metering and from the production level in the actual system at the district level and then at the customers to make comparisons, and will help us to determine, have data-driven decision making toward how we do the replacement and the selection of replacement sites.
Sports Night, brought to you with the compliments of Great Health Works, agents for Omega XL.
Let's head back over to the sports studio now. Damien is back with the second half in sports. Damien?
Yeah, thanks so much, Lisa. Well, this year's Run Barbados Marathon Series has been rebranded with a wellness component. Our very own Amory Burke was in attendance at the official launch.
The countdown is on for the 2025 Run Barbados Marathon and Wellness Weekend, set for December 4th to 7th. As you would have recognized, this year's edition has been extended by an extra day, with the addition of a wellness component designed to encourage healthy lifestyles beyond running. The new feature will include activities such as moonlight hikes, yoga sessions, and other wellness-focused experiences, offering participants more ways to connect with fitness and well-being. Adding to the excitement, organizers have introduced a special incentive cash prize of $5,000 each for the largest registered primary and secondary school groups, a move aimed at boosting youth participation. Wyndham Grand Barbados has been confirmed as the platinum sponsor for the weekend, with a number of corporate entities on board, underscoring the event's prestige and continued growth. Kamal Springer, manager of sport at the Barbados Tourism Marketing, Inc., said the expanded weekend will create an inclusive and dynamic experience for visitors and locals alike, blending competition with wellness and community engagement.
As I mentioned, we started the day earlier, so we're going to be December 4th for our wellness event, which is going to be at Bali Beach Club. That's from 6 p.m. until 10 p.m. That's mainly a wellness focus. We're going to have Pilates, we're going to have yoga, and then we're going to add a bit of entertainment to get people integrated and meeting each other. Our Fun Mile and Run Barbados race day is going to be at the Garrison Savannah. That starts at 6 p.m. And as is traditional, we're going to be the penultimate race on the horse racing card. It's not traditional. Usually horses are on the horse racing card. But we decided to make it a little bit fun and engaging. And we continue to do that. It seems to be a hit. Persons that come to the Fun Mile on the Friday seem to love it, love the extra activity around. Visitors seem to also love the activity, so we decided to continue it. On the Saturday, we have a lot going on. The races are going to start around 4 p.m. We have our 5K walk, our 5K run, our 10K run also happening on those days. We've changed the 5K to the Saturday. I think it's the second year we've done it. The walkers have indicated that they want to come out in their numbers and they want to make sure on the day of the action. So we tried our best to make sure we facilitated that. On the Sunday, we have our 5K hike at the Walkers Reserve. Then we have our half marathon and our full marathon starting at a lovely 5 a.m. So any of you who want to be there, we're happy to facilitate. Our closing event, the location is going to be announced pretty soon. We're still in conversations, but we're going for a theme of Run Barbados Barbecue Party. So we'll give you more details on that as it comes out.
From the sporting side, the race routes remain unchanged, maintaining the senior East Coast courses. However, there's been an adjustment to the entry categories, according to race coordinator Zari Eveling, aimed at refining participation across the various events.
In the past, we had some people say, well, why don't you have age groups within a 5-year span for medals? So that's what we're doing this year. So instead of competing against people in a 10-year range, we're competing against people in a 5-year range. So if they run all 3 days, they can get a challenge medal. So if you do the Fun Mile, one of the events on Saturday and one event on Sunday, you can get a challenge medal. So you can leave here with 3 finisher medals, a challenge medal, age group medals. You can really go home with a suitcase full of medals. You can run Barbados. So that makes it very unique and different to anywhere else that I know of anywhere in the world, and certainly in the Caribbean for sure.
With the combination of road races, community engagement, and the new wellness activities, organizers of the Run Barbados Weekend 2025 are optimistic that participation will grow beyond the just over 1,000 entrants recorded last year. Anne-Marie Burke, CBC Sports.
And that's news for tonight. On behalf of the entire team, thank you so much for tuning in. Good night.